Hello, patrons. Look at the light on me. Isn't that amazing? So, I know Tips from the Top Floor is an audio podcast, and so your monthly or actually per episode donation for the show obviously has to go into the audio part as well. But as I'm doing these behind the scenes videos and as I have some other video stuff, I thought I would invest some of that Patreon money into lights, and that's what I got. And I just want to run you through what I got there and why I've got it. So let's start. Quick look back to the old place where I lived, and it was a bit of a smaller place. The walls were closer. I was sitting next to a diagonal ceiling, which I used a tungsten kind of desk light, bounced it off of that wall, of that white wall at me, which worked really well, and another light source up on the ceiling, which gave me a nice hair light, and then I white balanced everything. It was decent, was good, but yeah, not as good as it could have been. But moving in here, everything's bigger, the walls are further away, so I need a stronger light source to bounce off the wall or light me directly, because I want a kind of a decent surface, a sizable surface. And a couple of months ago, I think even before I started with Patreon, I got myself 2 LED lights, which are these Yongnuo 600 LED lights. Decent product. 600 of them is actually a decent surface if you look at the size of it. This is my hand in comparison, but it's still quite directed actually, because each of those LEDs, if you've ever seen one of these clear LEDs, has kind of almost like a lens in front, and so you get a pretty direct thing. So I will have to put some diffusion on there and maybe a little softbox kind of thing. I'm still trying to find a good way to mod this, but anyway, so those lights kind of worked, but they didn't really work that well, not as well as I wanted them to. So I went back to the kind of permanent light that is usually used nowadays, and it's not tungsten, because tungsten runs hot, and tungsten has better color reproduction than LEDs. Tungsten also has better color reproduction than fluorescent lights, and the lights I use now, and I'll show you them in a minute, are actually fluorescent lights. There are a softbox with like 4 big fluorescent bulbs in them, so you end up getting a nice surface, bigger than the one that the LEDs do, and it's a big surface, or at least big enough, and that's what I kind of need for the video. So I have 2 of those now, and those are, let me show you. The one, if you look at the light on me, okay, let's do a bit of light analysis. I have a brighter side here. Well, it's not a brighter side. The actual brighter side is here, because more light is coming, oops, touching the microphone. More light is coming from this side. That's kind of the key light. But there is light coming from back here, and you can see it reflecting on my arm, and you see it reflecting on my face, which is hair light or rim light, just giving me some nice kind of studio kind of separation from the background. So I kind of like this, and that's pretty much just one of those soft boxes. So here, see, there's construction still going on here, but here's the soft box. I'm still trying to find out if I can move this a bit further back, so I can kind of leave it out here. Oops, where are we? Here we go. This way. And then over here, I have a second one of these, which is, let me show you. Here, this one is bouncing off the wall, so I do this to increase the size of the surface, and it's clearly strong enough to do that. And then right next to it, here's another one. Let me switch that off. It's all manual. In reality, it's not as bright as this one. This is a second LED thing I have. And this one is there to light my face. Let me show you. So this is it without. It's actually looking decent, but with the light, it's just a bit brighter here. Better catch lights. This is also doing something about the catch lights, and So I have one LED, two fluorescent soft boxes, and now all I need to do is get some light back here. It's not important, but yes, it is important because it is in the picture, and it's pretty much a set, right? What you see behind me is part of the set here, and I want this to look good. So I'll put some shelving back there, and probably put some of my analog cameras in there. No, I don't know. I'm still deciding. What you see back there, the funny looking thing, that's a sound diffuser, which helps the sound, but it's too small for in here, so this is just decoration at this point. I think the sound is actually quite decent. Which, interestingly enough, bigger rooms make better sound. If you're close to the microphone like this, a bigger room makes better sound because the reflections that come back at you come from further away because the walls are further away, so it comes later and it comes much softer. So the direct sound into the microphone is much stronger than the reflections, and the reflections are the echoes that in smaller rooms you kind of tend to have difficulties with. Also, if you have the microphone, if the microphone is too far away from you, the room gets more importance. And if you get closer to the microphone, the room isn't as important. So the size of the room actually supports a good sound. So that's pretty much the setup as I have it right now. It does look better. Here. It does look better than what I had before. Definitely I get better colors. Not full spectrum, not as good as actual tungsten light, but it's okay. The colors look decent. I mean, there's a Swiss Army knife. Looks like a Swiss Army knife, right? Maybe not exactly color accurate, but clearly accurate enough. I'm just trying to find things here's a battery, energizer. They look kind of on the screen. They look the way they should look. Here. Aha. Let me get this out here. Money. So this it's close enough. It's good enough. I'm quite happy the red thing I'm having on here. I'm actually happy. The colors look good. The size of the soft boxes are decent, so I get some good light here. The LED helps me get the catch light, and then I have my little software here where I can still maybe I'll have to turn it down a bit. What I use here is webcam settings, which is a Mac app that allows you to change the exposure time and the gain and the brightness and saturation and white balance. I mean, I can crank up the saturation here and go, whoa, help, I'm burning. Or go black and white. I don't want to do this. Let me bring this back. Ooh, what am I doing now? Anyway, so you get the idea. There's plenty of things to play with, and I'm really happy how this turned out. And those fluorescent lights are directly from my Patreon funds. So you help me look good, and that's amazing. So thank you so much. And one more thing. There was another problem I had. I have this weekly appearance on Leo Laporte's Tech Guy radio show in video and in audio, which this is basically for. So I had to run a LAN cable, a network cable here through the room, through the door into the other room where the router sits because the Wi-Fi just didn't cut it. And it was hard to kind of find a good place to put the cable into a wall and get it over here. Actually, we have this solved now. I had a guy help me yesterday. So we drilled a hole down next to the router into the floor, down to the basement, pull the cable over, and it's coming out over here in another hole through another wall. And it's now, it's not quite attached to the wall. Here's my network cable, but that's just a matter of putting it there. I'm probably going to use some hot glue to glue it into the corner of the wall, and everything is going to be set. I'm so happy that this is finally solved because that was a real big issue. But then you see there are still other little construction sites here that we're working on, but making progress, and that's also thanks to you. So that was it for a quick quick behind the scenes update. And talk to you again soon. Take care. I know. Click.